The audiobook is now available on audiobooks.com. Place your order today. Link in description.
My children don't owe me anything. My children do not owe me anything. People are not able to live their lives because somehow they owe their parents.
When you are in your retirement, your children don't owe you nothing.
Yeah.
And we need to be careful of the emotional blackmail where we say to our children, but we took you to school, you owe us.
Whatever they will do it out of their kindness, out of their love.
I remember another case, speaking to someone, they were getting ready to get married. Their parents said it to them unequivocally. You will not get married until you build me a house.
So, someone is always on the call or always going to see their mom or their sibling. They are always spending time, they are always on the phone with their family.
If you are always on the call with your mom or your sibling, go and get married to them.
Hi everyone, and welcome to yet another wonderful episode from Love and Marriage today with Bake and Nogwanda. Oh, guys, thank you so much for your reactions. Thank you for being part of us. Once again, it's such a pleasure to see so many comments coming through, to see you guys engaging with us, because it just tells us this is real. You know, we are talking on real subjects. Yeah. I love a comment that we got from Uketiwe Mhlongo, and she says, this was such therapy for me as I'm considering getting married, and how much of myself I saw in this podcast. The narrative of surrender just clarified all things.
Wow, free therapy. There's a comment from Zonke Moloi. She says, I love the way Nogwanda looks at her husband. It says a lot. I love the topics very much. They say they like how you look at me. Can you look at me? Look at me now.
I don't know. Am I looking at you?
We're getting into In-Laws Part 2. In-Laws Part 2.
Oh,
it was quite steamy last episode, and it's going to get more intense. In-Laws Part 2, that's where we are at.
Awesome.
Mama.
Okay, we are talking In-Laws Part 2, and there's just a question that I want to ask. It's just a question I want to ask, and the question is, you know how, you know, your strict and stern belief about this whole mourning thing, and so what if your family would want me to, you know, to mourn you for 3 years? You know, it's part of our culture, so I don't know if you really have a say in this, because you won't be around if they want me to mourn.
So to give a context, in our culture, a woman mourns for 3 years. They wear mourning gowns, which means you would be in black gowns. You have to go to work in those mourning gowns. Town you go. And according to culture, you are usuke umnyama. Maybe I hope I'll articulate it well.
So you can't necessarily...
Nyama means there's some uncleanness to it. So a person who's in that condition, they have to be alienated to some extent to the general public and stuff. I think it comes with a little bit of stigma. I wouldn't want my wife to go through. So I did speak to my family elders. I was clear. I don't want my wife to go through that. Actually, my vision of it, if I would die at a point in time, I want you to wear white clothing.
Yeah.
I just need to put it on a will. The last thing, I need to put it on a will. I need to see a lawyer and put it on a will. I believe I have to protect you. I need to put in a will where I want to be buried. And I encourage all parties, male or female, let's draft wills of what you want on your funeral day. Someone wants to be cremated. Okay, I'm not a fan of being cremated, but if you want to be cremated, put a will into it. so that people don't squabble. And also, when it comes to the house, properties and what, we don't speak about such things. But, you find that you are gone and your partner has to struggle with. So when it comes to me, I don't want you to go through that process. I want you to, if it's a funeral, wear white garments. If my children white whatsoever, I would want my funeral to be a celebration. I know you've told me many times you can't survive without me, but I'd want to be
exposing me.
I'd want a celebratory kind of setup. Yeah, I'm intentional. It's not disrespecting culture. It's not disrespecting elders. At the end of the day, I'm an adult. I'm in charge of my life. And that's what I want to teach my kids too. You say what you want concerning your life, and I have to respect that as a parent. So I wouldn't allow you to go through that. There's also the situation of a wife who stays in a house. The mourning process says you stay in the house for a month. You don't come out. And for a month you are under blankets. I don't want you to go through that.
Are you literally under blankets for a whole month? Like, how is that?
It's our African thing. When people come, you put on the blanket.
Okay,
when people are gone, then they're doing better.
Yeah.
But I don't want you to go through that. Even during the funeral, I don't want you to go through that blankets and what. I want you to be in your nice
So you don't
head.
want the sponge, the mattress?
Sponge comes with the culture when people come to mourn. I think it takes nothing. You would be on a sponge welcoming people to mourn. You don't have to put on any blanket. You'll be seeing people, hello. If you want to take selfies, I'm joking. But, the beauty about culture is this one, which I learned in anthropology whilst we were studying community psychology. Culture is beautiful, but culture is not perfect. So in the good elements of culture, let's embrace them. I'm for that. Yeah. But in the so not perfect elements, let's eliminate.
Yeah.
So the mattress, the sponge, if it works, it's a comfortability kind of a setup. You're sitting on a sponge, people are coming. If you want to lay there, sleep there, it serves it. But again, if you don't want a sponge, if people are coming for morning, you want to be seated on a couch, greeting everyone and, receiving the condolences, it's okay. It's just that in the African culture, when you're sitting in the mattress, African people could relate to that,
Sure.
So I don't have a problem. You see, the thing about me, the question is, what does it take from you? You see, I know that you being under a garment for a month takes something from you, takes oxygen from you. It takes a freedom. But sitting on a sponge, but it would be entirely up to you. I want you to be happy. Because I think the psychological part, the grieving.
Can't be happy.
The grieving, I mean the grieving aspect. This woman is grieving.
Yeah.
Now we need to speak on behalf of women's rights. We're not trashing culture, but let's speak on behalf of women's rights. The girl child. We need to be careful of oppression. And I will put it on record that some cultures, whether done towards men or towards women, could be oppressive to some extent. So where there's some oppression, we need to evolve and, some things which we could eliminate, let's eliminate. Yeah. Anyways, that was your question. How would you feel if my family would put you through that mourning process? For 3 years, you're wearing black garments. For that month, you're in the house, you're not coming out, you undergarments and blankets. I meant to say blankets. How would you feel?
I think I know, like you have said, what you want and what you don't want. And I think somehow, also again, because of culture, it's a bit easier for you as a man to say, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. Especially when it comes to being married and being, with your in-laws. So for me, it will be a very difficult situation, especially where I know that it's something that you didn't want. But if they want me to do it, then I will definitely do it. Because for me, it will be maybe a last respect, maybe not necessarily to you, but to them, because not to say our relationship is ending, but what really, brought us together somehow has gone away. So I would like to respect that about them, and do it for them. But of course, I would need to be quite vigilant. I've learned, I've seen, from other people who have gone through that situation, and when they come out of that, they realize everything is gone. Everything is gone. So I would need to, find a way of how I deal with it. But I would really feel broken and hurt and disappointed. But I think I'll take it. I'll take it also.
I think your respect of my family elders or family members should never come at your expense. You deserve as a woman to be protected. While
But
some
you see,
alive,
at that time when you are not there,
that's where the wills come in. We need to draft wills.
Yeah.
We need to have family meetings. Sometimes it's not even about wills. We need to talk about these things whilst we're still alive. I know right now, even as the camera is rolling, as the episode is running, stop talking about death.
I know,
talking about elders,
I know. And we need
because
to.
These are things we don't talk
We
about.
run away from these subjects. Yeah.
Actually, there's a client of mine who told me that whilst grieving, the family members who were never there, she never knew they showed up. And they were like, hey, Koloi, whose car is that? We'll be taking that. The monies, can you show us the policies?
Yeah.
For me, that is witchcraft.
Yeah,
I'm
but
against
it
that.
happens.
So I'm not for family members being disrespected. But at the same time, as much as you have to respect my family members, my wills, my testament is to be respected. And my testament is I'm alive today. I'm saying you as to your husband, I don't need you to go through all of that. At the end of the day, you are a human being, and for me that matters. But you know where you stand with my mom. She treats you like her own daughter. I'd want that to continue.
Yeah.
I'd want you to have the freedom. I want my children to be given a voice. If, for example, it's a funeral, you want to say something, no one should say, hey, culture iti tula. You need to be able to say that it's a special moment. So yeah, I think what you're saying, it touches me emotionally, it hits to the core. I wouldn't want you to be in pain. I have a question for you.
Okay.
If your dad was still alive, let me say we met, because I've heard about such cases from clients.
Okay.
Say your dad calls. Maybe you've reported to your dad that I say as the head of the home, we bring incomes in.
Yes.
You are accountable. You don't chow your income on your own. We work together as a family. We budget. Then when you run to your dad and you're like, Mina, I don't want to be forced to bring my salary. There are women who say that, Indota must. He should take care of the bills. So you tell your dad that, and your dad says, yes, my daughter, no, that is wrong. You should just, give whatever money whenever you want. You're not compelled. So he calls me and says, Gamini, just know that my daughter's money is not your concern. You should not involve my daughter in your bills. Be a man, be a man. You take care of your home. What would you say? Why are you laughing? What would you say? Because back when there are some fathers who are like that.
Sure, that it's quite strange, but yeah, I understand that some fathers are like that, or some families are like that. But again, it goes to the boundaries that you have created or did not create, where you still remain your father's little daughter even when you're a married woman. It becomes a bit tricky because now we need to really check you. What's your identity now? Because your identity changes. So what is it? Are you still that little girl, or that needs daddy's protection, or are you a woman of your own? Because once again, I'll say this: when we get married, we start our own thing. We start our own family. We build a new thing. I usually tell this to my clients when they come for premarital counseling, that, when you are getting married, before you got married, you actually were in your father's household. For instance, for the man, you were in your father, for Boga Dlamin, Gababu Dlamin, your father. Okay? And as a woman, I'm coming from my mother's house, and in your father's household, he did what he wanted was the thing that was supposed to be done. You were abiding by every rule that he made and set and sort out. Same thing with me. Where I'm coming from is my mother's house. She would say, what she wants in this house. She would have her rules. But now when you step out, we step out to build our own thing. Guess what? Our own thing, it will definitely not look like your father's house.
Yeah.
Our own thing will definitely not look like my mother's house because we are two different individuals, two unique individuals that are coming together to build one thing. How can it even?
Can we emphasize the fact that when you are married, you are now in somebody's house. It's no longer your father's house. And when I'm saying somebody's house, I still mean it's your house. It's the couple's house. This is a sovereign...
You're in a new house.
It's a sovereign country.
Yes.
It's like...
It's standing on its own.
It's like Ukraine dictating terms for Ghana.
Yeah.
Coming to say, hey, this is how you should manage your affairs. I think what should be emphasized amongst couples is that if you are in your home, no one has a right to come and dictate.
Exactly. So where I was going with what I was saying is that you then, the both of you, are the one who's going to sit down and actually draw your own, line, the path that you are both going to take in building this house. So when you come together and you come to build your own house, it's a new house altogether. It's unique because it's two different people that are coming together. So it definitely will not look like your father's household. So your father's rules will not apply in your house. They cannot apply in your house because maybe that is what he preferred. Maybe that is how he treated your mom. But it's not necessarily something that the both of us can do.
I have a question. Let me say, as a wife, you are employed. Your husband loses a job. Maybe for about 2 years, he's still not employed. He's trying. Do your parents have a right to summon your husband and say, Mkonyana, how is it going? When are you getting a job? Are you applying? We are worried about our daughter.
No. Your parents don't have that right. Your parents can check on you. How are you guys doing? Are you managing? Are you okay? That's it. But they don't have a right to question anyone because, maktuwa ebin naseplen when you're getting married and saying vows.
For better or worse.
For better or worse. So your daughter will have to go through her worst in her marriage.
Which means they do have a right, yes, to say hi. To call you and say hi. We're checking on you. We see your husband has not been employed for the longest of time. We're just checking. Are you okay? Speaking to you.
Remember, we said they remain a support system.
Yeah.
So it's just a thing of to say, hi, Tina, we care about you, but you are living. You are in your own life journey, and you need to go through this as a woman of your own household.
I think, though, just to provide a balance, they do have a right, if it's been for the longest of time, to approach you as their daughter, to say, how are things? Yes. Do you need any support?
Yes, of course.
Maybe, we could support your husband. But to then approach me as Mkonyana, meeting lapa. We need to see
and
you.
You are the subject.
Yeah, Mkonyana. We just want to find out, how is your house? Our grandchildren
put your house in order.
Eating. We don't want a situation where grandchildren are starved. To a certain, especially to a man, it could come across as emasculation.
Parents who can do that, maybe, and honestly, there's no, it's not justifiable. Parents who can do that is parents that have let go of their 18-year-old to go get married. Maybe they still feel like that one is a child. They need to know everything. Is she eating? Does she go to bed with food? Does she eat before she goes to bed? Is she able to, So I don't know. Honestly, I'm just saying that. It's not that I'm literally agreeing with that, but I'm saying I don't understand it. I
remember another case, speaking to someone, they were getting ready to get married. Welcome, fam. This is Love and Marriage Today. It's part 2. We are discussing in-laws. I remember speaking to someone, they were about to get married. Their parents said it to them unequivocally. You will not get married until you build me a house. Yeah, I want my tiles. Stuff happens around. Stuff happens around. You will not get married. I want my bathroom.
On the wedding day, though.
Before getting married, before we even talk about your lobola. I need my tiles, my everything. My kitchen should be like this. Then we can talk. You can talk about negotiations, getting married. Stuff happens around.
Stuff happens.
Is that right for a parent to say, you cannot get married up until you do this and this for me?
You know, I don't want to put, I don't want to use words like right, wrong, because, hey, people will say all sorts of things out there and believe all sorts of things out there. For me, like, it's always been my prayer that I do not want, my children don't owe me anything. My children do not owe me anything. Whatever they will do it out of their kindness, out of their love. But I want to be in a position where I'm able to just live, sustain myself when they are gone, when they are living their lives. Because, guys, we have had it. People are not able to live their lives because somehow they owe their parents. People, and maybe also, there's a great possibility that even when he builds that house, it won't be enough. They'll come back to say, no, you also need to do this. You also need to do this. What about your brother? You need to take care of your brother. Which is, I think at times it's a thing of they're not able to let go. Their inability to actually let go.
Mina, if my parents said to me, you're not getting married unless you build me a house, I would go ahead to get married.
Yeah.
This is not to say we should not build houses for parents. We should support family, but at our level of affordability. Number 2, priorities. At a certain point of a child's life, the priority might be getting married. I got married to you at 27 years of age. I couldn't afford building my parents a house because I'm coming from poverty. So I'm still trying to take care of myself. And it's okay to take care of yourself, then you'll take care of other people. It doesn't mean neglect them, but there should be boundaries. So if someone said at that point, I can't get married to you until I build them a house, where do I get money to build them a house? I still need to build my own house.
But like they'll say, when you're getting married, it means you are affording. How are you going to take care of a wife?
Doesn't mean you compare a wedding and a house. That's vast. That's quite a vast difference. And some children can afford to build their parents a house whilst they are single. And praise the Lord for that. That's great.
Yeah.
But to someone who doesn't afford, it would be wrong for me, to our son, Onovuyo, to say to him, you can't get married if you haven't built me a house. It would be, I'm sorry to say, it would be selfish. I think we need to speak about the situation of, we need to say to us as parents, go to work in your prime. Make savings. When you are in your retirement, your children don't owe you nothing.
Yeah.
And we need to be careful of the emotional blackmail where we say to our children, but we took you to school, you owe us. No, my children owe me nothing. It doesn't mean they shouldn't be generous, but they don't owe me nothing. I brought them to this world. I brought 3 freaking children to this world. They didn't choose to come to this world. And my responsibility is to work hard, to hustle now, so that I don't become a burden to my children. So if my children assist me, they need to assist me from their own volition and willing heart. It becomes a problem when everything is requested from a place of compulsion, where a child can't get married because they need to build a house.
Yeah.
And as I spoke about priorities, sometimes they could get married. Then they could build me a house.
Also possible.
So it calls for patience, So I think it's
want to go back to that question you asked me and say, okay, so let's just say my dad, being alive, would ask you that question. Would say that to you, say, don't involve my daughter when it comes to expenses, the household
My
expenses.
daughter should enjoy
My
her
daughter
money.
should enjoy her money.
Okay.
How would you react to that? How would you respond?
I would be pissed off. I would be pissed off. The relationship would be strained. Maybe I would tell him where to get off, because by principle, this is my house. I have my own, and it's not out of disrespect. And I wish viewers would understand. We are not promoting disrespect, but it's out of respecting the sanctity of the marriage, the sovereignty of that family. Once a couple is married, they have their own family now, and they need to be able to do things at their own terms. You know, I don't even like the thing of people talking, even about, so imotoka putile, our brother bought a car, ungenapwe. So you find family members discussing properties. That property, it's our sister's property. Siyapapa nje. As a community, there are certain things we should not be involved in, even asking who bought that car. They are married, they bought that car.
Yeah.
I hope it's making some sense.
Yeah.
What do you think about involving family members in issues? Let me say you're going through situations. Shouldn't you be free to pick up a call and call mommy, there's an issue, my husband, we were shouting at each other, you kind of like mommy, daughter.
Again, we're going back to, you are in your own household now, you're no longer just your mom's daughter, your daddy's son. So you need to stand up in your own 2 feet, and own up. Because also going to mommy, going to daddy, there's a thing of kuceba.
And ngwana.
Yes, and
Ngwanazim.
there's ngwanazim in it. There's a nyamceba, that kind of a thing where I'm telling, somebody did this to me. That you did. You had all the right to do that as a kid. You had all the right to do that as a kid, but you're not a kid anymore. So, and also when you go tell on your partner to your parents, what are you saying to your parents about your partner? How are they ever going to look at them again? How are they going to trust them to be able to uphold their own household and lead their own household? So I do not approve of people that want to go tell their parents, because also parents don't, or family doesn't forget.
Family doesn't.
They can, what they know is that you told them that, hey, my husband did this to me. And it doesn't matter if we kiss and make up. It doesn't matter we are holding hands. We show on social media. We are happy. They're like, oh, please, these ones we know.
Yeah.
We know they are shenanigans. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, but just to put a context, we're not saying where there's toxicity or a relationship has gotten to extreme levels, of toxicity. Someone cannot involve family members. I think the guideline would be to say people should resolve things on their own. If they fail, let them seek external help from neutral people, marriage counselors, marriage therapists. Then if you've gone through the process, you've tried therapy and everything, you failed, then you can involve family members.
But then again, I would still say, even when you're going to involve family members, let it be at a level or at a position, a place where you have actually sort of taken a position.
I hear you.
Yourself, so that you're not still going there to say, point fingers at each other, oh, this one did this and this one. Just go there where it's okay, what? We have tried, we have done this, and we have seen maybe where we are wrong, and we are seeing that, this now needs, that we involve you, because we involved you when we came together. So now maybe we are feeling like, this thing is not really working out. It could be a time to involve you. Or maybe you can still help us to come back together, but we have come to the position that we are in now, and that is why we are bringing you in. Anyway, so because we hear all sorts of things from our clients, so this is another one that is coming from, experience with our clients, where someone is always on the call or always going to see their mom or their sibling. They are always spending time. They are always on the phone with their family, with their mom or their sibling.
What do I say about that?
Yeah, how do you take that?
If you're always on the call with your mom or your sibling, go and get married to them. I will repeat. If you are always on the call with your mom or your sibling, that your partner's time is eaten up and space, or every other moment, it's mom. You're always talking to your parent. Go and marry them. Be fair to the person you are married to. Divorce them and you'll be married to.
Yeah, well, you hear people say, oh, but we've always been close with my mom, or we've always been close, like my mom knows everything about me, or we've always been close with my sister. She knows, she has to know everything about.
Has to.
Yes.
Do they have to?
Because but they share their part, they share about their life. I also need to share.
Marriage is about graduating. You love people, you still share stuff, but the certain intimate stuff or stuff that happens internally in your marriage, you can no longer share. You know, you can't be informing your family every time you buy a Christmas tree, there's a new couch. There are certain things they need to miss out on. They see just a car, they're like, okay, they bought a car. Okay, maybe you could share concerning a car. But even a couch, a vase, just a vase. It's about graduating. Marriage is about being a grown-up. I will no longer talk to you that often because now I'm focusing on my family, on my marriage. Talk about priorities in marriage. Who comes first? Who is supposed to come first in my life? When it comes to priorities, let me say there's family, there's friends, there's God, there's you, there's our children. Who is supposed to come first?
Well, for us, it should be God.
Then secondly?
And then secondly, your spouse. And then your children, your immediate family. And then work and other things that you do as part of work.
Which means maybe after the children, that's where parents could come in and
yes,
stuff.
that's where I skipped, yes.
Okay, but number 2 after God should be your partner.
Yeah, it should be your spouse, should be your partner.
Thank you so much, fam. It was a great one. Love and Marriage today. It was a blast. Please do continue to subscribe. Continue to follow us on our socials. If you need a marriage therapy, we are based here in Sandton. Do get a consultation. Whatever situation you are in, we handle the most complex marital issues. You can holler at us via our contacts. Let's meet on the next episode. We love you and leave you here at Love and Marriage today. See you.
See you.
Some say, Panama, they're lying. 10 years, it's impossible.
How we never kissed for 10 years.
10 years.
Oh my goodness.
We were prom-mates. We didn't kiss.
We didn't kiss then, yeah.
What led us to not kissing is we were quite disciplined.
Yeah.
We never met in public places like Nando's, KFC. Okay, that was the hottest thing back in the days. I didn't want to rush to propose love. I felt like I wanted to be a gentleman. Actually, you made me to be a gentleman. You just looked so expensive. You made me believe that you're worth waiting for and fighting for. I know it sounds cliche, but I still believe in someone showing value, someone being patient with you. I still believe in commitment. Because there's a challenge with this kissing, rushing to kiss or to sleep with someone. One gets to know your body, not yourself. So one of my objectives was to know you. I wanted to get to know Nogwanda, not your body.